Hello Dr. Humans, welcome back to the channel and today's video where we will be covering how to deal with that feeling of failure as you approach your clinical exam study. Let's do this. Alright, so in the last video I gave you a little pep talk where I told you that as you progress through this season of studying for your clinical exam, you will have a feeling of failure at some point, and that is completely normal. But it's what you do with that experience that matters, because feeling like you've failed something is extremely uncomfortable, and as humans we really want to avoid any negative feelings or failures, and this can lead to unhelpful patterns of behaviour such as avoiding study entirely, negative self-talk, and getting in our own way at a time when we really need to be supporting ourselves, being our own best friend, and leaning into the learning and personal growth. So let's take it away from the clinical exam for just a tick. The feeling of failure is a completely normal part of learning any new skill, right? If you were to go and learn how to play guitar, for example, chances are you'll try to learn a chord and it will feel very painful in your fingers and it'll sound pretty terrible as well. But if you keep practicing that chord, one day you will build calluses and you will be able to play it and have it sound like it was supposed to sound. So sticking with the guitar example, when you go to learn how to play guitar, you don't necessarily expect yourself to be the best guitar player on planet Earth right away, right? That would be ridiculous. And if you felt really determined to learn how to play guitar, you would probably push through those feelings of discomfort and keep showing up to practice, keep going, keep putting in the time, and maybe even start to enjoy the process. And meanwhile, in the background, your brain will go to work, neuroplasticity will develop, and gradually you will get better and better at playing guitar. All you have to do is keep showing up, keep tweaking what you're doing to make it better until you get it right. And eventually, you will be able to play guitar. It is inevitable. Contrast this, however, with someone who wants to play guitar, shows up to their first lesson or a couple of lessons, realizes, actually, this really hurts my fingers, I'm not very good at this, I don't really feel like not being good at this, and so I'm not going to practice. And therefore, what do you think is going to happen? There is literally no chance of this person succeeding or improving at playing guitar if they don't practice, give themselves the grace of finding their feet with this new skill, then the game is over. It's not going to happen. And that is true failure. So the true failure is never learning to play guitar because you are avoiding that feeling of discomfort and the feeling of failure, which is ironic, right? We actually have a higher chance of failing entirely by avoiding the feeling of failure in these situations. So what I'm trying to say with this guitar example is that feeling that we are failing or not good at something is the path that must be traveled in order to get good at something. You do not become good at something without working on it and moving through those feelings of discomfort. So when you go to try and learn something new, there are two pathways to choose from. There's the getting in your own way pathway, and there's the holding space for yourself to improve pathway. One leads to certain failure and the other to higher chances of success. Now, you might say to me, Christine, this is not the same thing. I've been a doctor for years now. I'm not a beginner. I'm not a medical student. I should know how to do this stuff by now. And you really can't compare the clinical exam to playing an instrument. And to that I say, I am so glad you are here because you are the person that I am trying to reach today. Because you are past me, and she would have said the exact same thing. So I see you, but please let me open up your perspective on this. Yes, you are a practicing doctor right now. You have passed your written exam, which means that you have a lot of knowledge right now. That is true. But this exam is not about being who you are right now. This exam is about leveling up. By the time you sit your clinical exam, your goal should be to show up as your consultant physician-like self, right? In the exam, you are literally being compared to the ability of a consultant physician, right? The examiners see the patient before you, they decide what the key issues are for your long case and what the clinical signs are for your short case. Then you see the patient, just as they did, and your performance is compared to theirs. This is the game you are playing. You are being compared to a consultant physician. So coming back to put this learning experience into perspective, you are currently a medical registrar level doctor, and now you're being called to extend your abilities to think and sound and function in the same way as a consultant physician who has so many more years experience than you do. So this exam is not designed to test if you are who you are right now. This exam is designed to stretch you and mold you into the physician that you are going to be. And that transformation has gravity attached to it. So if you feel like that's already who you are, great, you can sit your exam tomorrow, that's fine. But for most people embarking on this clinical exam, there's some moulding and stretching to do, and that is completely normal. And when you understand that that is the bar that you are trying to reach, you might just feel a little bit more inclined to give yourself the grace of allowing yourself some space and time to step into that version of yourself, to work towards that version of yourself, not expecting it to happen overnight. And of course, you'll do this by using those beautiful foundations that you have right now inside you within your authentic self, and you'll take those parts forwards, adding in new skills as you go. And what's also true is you will have to leave some of the old parts of you behind, right? The parts of you that don't feel very confident making decisions, for example, or don't articulate their ideas fluently. We need to leave that part of us behind as we step into our next level selves, and that is a process. That is an uncomfortable process. But the good news is that you have it in you, right? You can do this. I promise you that. But now you can see that it would be absolutely ridiculous to expect yourself to show up for your short case tutorial this week or your long case this week, expecting to already be who you're going to be on exam day. To be that next level self will take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. So the first part of dealing with this feeling of failure is to truly onboard what I'm saying to you right now. That as you show up and work on your clinical skills for this exam, you may experience the feeling of discomfort, the feeling of not being able to do something quite yet. And that is fine, because we know that we are signing up for a process. We are signing up for a transformation. And by showing up, engaging with the process and tweaking what we are doing with that goal in mind, that is actually the definition of succeeding. And if you can give yourself the grace of space and time to step into your potential and not expect overnight results, then you will be approaching things in the right way. When you bomb that next short case in public, you'll be able to say, okay, well, I learned something from that. I've got a bit of work to do. What would it take to fill in that knowledge gap, get better at that examination sequence? What is it that I need to do or learn in order to achieve that goal? Because if you just failed a short case, yes, it feels terrible, but if you really break it down, there will be an objective, unemotional solution to doing a better short case the next time round, right? If you just botched a chord on guitar, it's because you put your fingers in the wrong place, you didn't press hard enough, you didn't strum the right strings, and that's okay, because if you know what you need to do the next time, you'll do better the next time. And you can see that none of that reflects on your ability to play guitar in future, right? Not being perfect today does not somehow exclude you from getting it right tomorrow. And the same thing can be applied to these clinical skills that you will be learning as you work towards your clinical exam. And if you can hear me today and truly believe what I'm saying, truly allow this to infiltrate your consciousness, you will be ahead of the game, because you will be able to give yourself the space and time and self-support that you need to learn optimally and to thrive. So you are capable, you are talented, and you can do this. And I cannot wait to watch you step into your potential, step into your next level self this briefcase season. And if you would like some help as you mold and stretch into your next level self, be sure to check out Rock Your Long Case 2024. This is an 8-week program designed to help you step into your potential and think and sound like a physician. First, we teach you how to do an incredible long case from start to finish. Then we mold and shape you as you apply those skills within our small group coaching. And we provide you with incredible content throughout the programme where you will learn what consultants actually do in their clinical practice so you can take their answers and their perspectives and apply it directly to your long case discussions. Topics include renal dialysis, transplant, diabetes, obesity, peri-op med, rheumatology, falls, osteoporosis, chronic pain, depression, and so much more. This is the only long case course which offers small group coaching and focuses on helping you to achieve your potential. Our past students have absolutely loved the course. They rave about it, and many of them tell us that it was our course more than any other that helped them in their long case on exam day. So if that sounds like something you need in your life, then go ahead, click that link and sign up for Rock Your Long Case 2024 whilst you still can. We would love to see you there, and otherwise stay tuned here on YouTube for some more clinical exam goodies. I'll see you soon. Bye!